what do you think the number one priority for CEOs is right now, and has been for 3 years? Digital transformation. It has become an urgent issue. It's urgent not just because we've got to have e-commerce capabilities to disintermediate the middle person. It's not just because we've got to learn to solve problems at a distance to eliminate physical phobia like we're seeing in healthcare. The biggest reason is the fact that machine learning and automation is preferred by millennials over human service. Or as my son likes to say, white glove service is a substitute for crappy machine learning. There is a new generation at hand, and Satya Nadella talks about it, that will give all of their business to people that put automation amongst the critical path. Digital transformation is job one. The problem is digital transformation is not something you buy. Digital transformation is what? Something you get in the pocket. It is billiards. It's something that you build. In fact, one of my favorite books, I recommend you all read this. MIT Press put it out. Researchers looked at 400 companies on the journey of digital. You know what they found out? The number one reason companies don't reach digital transformation goals is they don't have access to enough talent to stand up the thousands of projects involved, okay? They believe that if you're going to ensure access to the type of skill set you need to recognize on-demand talent markets as strategic, the heart of the digital transformation motion, not something that's tactical. In fact, in the pages of this book, I read something by Dr. Melissa Valentine, and it just blew my mind. I had to think about this for a minute. And what she kind of described, she works at the Center of Work at Stanford and wrote a paper on flash teams years ago that really, I believe, kicked off this gig economy discussion. She said that when you look at the adoption of on-demand talent, and I think she's referring to Google here, New York Times leaks that well over half of Google's workforce is on demand. I don't know if you know this, but well over half is on demand. They started that journey during the Great Recession. Pretty smart. There's reasons for it. But when you look at where Google is now, or even look at where Upwork's now, it's really this transformation that's nothing more than simple modernization. And I really want this to sink in here. On the left is a traditional company that is stuck on full-time first. They've got this mental model that the work must be done by full-time employees. So when you look at their, quote, workforce, 85–90% of it is done by FTs, and they have this layer, mostly staffing companies and legacy vendors that deliver the rest. That's the way things have been done. On the right, this is how Upwork works. This is how a lot of modern organizations are tooling. Much like adoption of cloud computing, they've adopted the talent cloud as a go-forward model. I want to be something very clear here. They didn't let any full-time employees go. They grew forward using on-demand talent. They held relatively flat course. In other words, and this is another point I want to make, they became highly judicious about who they hired full-time because they were aware of the true cost burden of a full-time hire, as well as the idea that today's full-time regrettable termination is tomorrow's candidate. And as a result, they brought a science to talent acquisition.